So, questions? What's on your mind? Got one?
Okay. So my question is about point of view.
Point of view.
Okay. So if I express my point of view and it's really offensive to some people, and then that's really bad press, have I just shot myself in the foot?
Okay. So
How do I express point of view without offending or pushing it?
Okay, right. So the question is about point of view, that there may be certain things you share that are going to offend people. People will be upset. There's a backlash towards you. And just, let's close that all the way. Yeah, what do we do about that? Do we do something about that? Is there anything to be done about that? So there's a number of thoughts. First of all, I've got a number of videos on this topic. One of my recent emails I sent out focused on this a bit. On Instagram, I've got one post just recently was how do you share, what are your thoughts on sharing controversial views in a way that is not unnecessarily triggering a firestorm, that's not unnecessarily hurting people's feelings. There's a video and an article, both by the same name, Dangerous Ideas. There's another one called Stop Being Reasonable.
These are all on your website?
On YouTube. The article's on my website. On YouTube, you'd find the Dangerous Ideas, Stop Being Reasonable, and yeah. So there's a few thoughts on this. And again, if you're on my email list, the last email had a bunch of this put together. But so there are a number of thoughts I'll share. One is people will be offended if people disagree. Try to have a conversation about vaccines, publicly, and just see how that goes. And it doesn't matter how well you state your case. It doesn't matter really how empathetic, because it's just hits a nerve. Because one of these, at least perceived as life or death. On one side, it's, if you don't, you could kill my grandmother. And the other one is, if you give it to my grandmother, could kill her. So this is not a live and let live situation, some of these things. There's other jugular issues like that, as you know. So one thing to really check in with yourself in is how thick is your skin? What can you bear? What can you take? Some people really don't mind. Some people will just come out swinging, and they eat it for breakfast. It doesn't really get them down. Other people, it ruins them. So if it's going to ruin you, just know that about yourself. There's other ways you can have the conversations that matter. You can create private little threads where you talk to people. You can do that. So you don't even have to talk about these things publicly all the time. But if it's going to just shut you down for a week and you're going to lose sleep, sometimes maybe we can become a little more resilient in these things. But there are real consequences to going against the dominant narrative, whether that's dominant in society or in your scene. There's real consequences to that. Now, doesn't mean the end to your career. If you get all this bad press because you said something. What it will mean for sure is you will lose those people, because there's certain lines that if you cross it for people, that's it. We can all think of certain issues that if somebody we loved, respected, admired, had sent a lot of business to, if they came out with a certain view on something, that would be it. You just cut them off. So you lose those people, but you will also gain other people. And I talked about this yesterday where, there's only three kinds of clients you'll ever meet. I'm going to write them down in a second. When I write them down, you will be disappointed. I'm telling you that now so you don't think that I don't know this is disappointing. But then I appoint you with it. I'll make it impressive. Okay. 3 types. Every potential client you meet will fit into one of these categories. Told you. See? I had your hopes so low, and still you're disappointed. Oh, yes, maybe, and no. Makes me think of the old Gaelic proverb, Scottish Gaelic proverb. It says, "Ha trí seoirse jagunne nach tuc na baranach, dan je shaun, dan je oist, dan je mean oist." And it basically says, there are three sorts of men that don't understand women: young men, old men, middle-aged men. Still true. Okay, so yes, maybe a no. What I mean is, the people who are yes, if you shared that controversial opinion or what you do, they lean in. Oh my God, me too. I'm so glad you get it about this thing. The no's are the ones that if you shared it, they'd say, okay, and they walk away and they block you and all this. That's a no. The maybes are the ones that are just on the fence. So again, this could be about a controversial point of view, or it could just be about your work. And we often mistake that polite interest, because a maybe doesn't sound like it's not a no. You can usually tell. The no is you meet them at a party, you describe what you do, they go, great. Or it's more subtle than that. It's just, hey, I've got to go get some punch. I'll be right back. You never see them again. Yeah, that's a no. The maybe is a little more deceptive because it's tricky, because it sounds like this. Oh wow, that's so interesting. What got you into that? Well, how long have you been? And you if you're desperate for clients, that could sound like a yes, because they seem interested. Yeah. Everything I'm talking about today, also true for dating. You're welcome. Just remember that when it comes to the pay what you can portion of today. You didn't just get one workshop. You got 2 workshops. It's also dating advice. Okay. But there's that book, He's Just Not That Into You. What does that mean? The guy's a maybe. No, I think we really got something. Oh, sweet summer child. No, he's not that into you. That was a maybe that you're reading as a yes. Yeah, but anyways, it's human. But okay, so that's the first thing. And so that we got the yes, the maybe, the no. But this is the reality for most businesses. Yeah. You got the yes, the maybe, the no. Right. And it's almost all maybes. So that's interesting. Why is it? And what does that mean? It means most people who see your stuff say, cool, proud of you, keep going with your business, go get them, Tiger, glad you're out there, not gonna, but that doesn't mean they're not buying. They don't buy unless it's a yes. So you say, okay, but I got some yeses, and I got this mountain of maybes. Some of these are going to turn into yeses. Actually, they almost always fall off that way into the no's. Why? Because they find somebody else that they're a yes to. They don't stay maybes forever. So the big question is, why is it this? Why is there so many maybes? I submit that the reason it's so many maybes is because of us. Yeah, we're not being clear enough to let them know if it's a fit, fundamentally. To say that differently, our fear of rejection has us play it really safe, so that we just get a very tepid response. Our being fuzzy gets a fuzzy response. And this is particularly true around point of view. If I stand up here and I say, you want to get healthy? Carnivore diet, that's the thing. Cut out all plant products, only animal products. A bunch of them raw, especially organs, yeah? I could also get up here and say, no, you have to cut out all animal products, raw vegan, that's the thing. I could get up here and say 4 food groups. Either way, you at least have a sense of what my point of view is, and some of you leaned in or out very clearly. You knew if that was a fit for you or not, just what I said. But if somebody gets up and says, well, there's lots of views around health, right? Lots of views around diet. Who knows? Who knows? But we can discover together. We can, this is not that compelling to people. Yeah, unless you're just looking for a free pass to eat whatever you want. That's not that compelling. So it's a maybe. It's like, well, I don't even know how you see it. So the willingness to actually say what you think will get a more polarized response, and it looks more like this. Yeah. And you think, but Tad, fuck, that means I'm getting way more no's. Yeah, but you're getting way more yeses. My wish for you would be no maybes. Everyone you talk to knows one way or the other right away. If you had, but it's like, how many more yeses? If you just got rid of the maybes by being clear about your niche, about your point of view, you don't need this workshop, you know? If there was a bit more now I'm not saying polarizing as a tactic. That's how you get people to say yes. I'm just saying you have some opinions. There's bullshit you see in your industry that you're sick of. You've got opinions about things. And if you're willing to share those, you will get a much stronger response. The best response I've ever gotten to any material I have usually has the word bullshit in the title. Why? Because I'm sharing a very candid opinion about something. The most popular reel I have on Instagram is charging what you're worth is bullshit. Yeah. Can we pass that down? Yeah, please.
Do you know what that is, Tad?
What is that?
It's an ice cream van.
Is that an ice cream van?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know, I had a woman who was in my mentorship, Jana Hexter, and she, as a website grants champion, helps people get grants. And she thinks the whole the whole nonprofit industrial complex is bullshit. The whole grant writing thing is bullshit. She hates the whole structure. She does it because she knows it helps, but she just sees it as a toxic morass of, you know, people chasing money. People spend all this time trying to chase the money that they may not get, that they could be doing the good work. Anyways, it's just so frustrating. And I kept encouraging, have you talked about that? Oh, I couldn't. Finally, one day she snapped and sent an email about it. And that got the biggest response of any email she'd ever sent. Why? Because sometimes if you're just willing to say it, other people say, me too. I thought I was alone. I thought I was the only one. Oh my God, you know? So, but again, how thick is your skin? But if you can bear it, just know that being willing to be candid will get a more polarized response. You will lose these people. A lot of people who are maybes will just instantly go to no's. But you'll also have new people appear. You'll be embraced by the other people who see that way. I don't know if that helps at all. Yeah.
Yeah, I've just got to work on thickening my skin.
It's tough. I mean, you can titrate it. You can, you know, and it's, of course, it is also for me personally important. Can we say these things in a way that doesn't make people wrong? That's just, this is the understanding I've come to. You may have come to a different understanding, but this is the understanding I've come to. We can stand in that without having to demonize people, dismiss people, turn people into, like, lampoon them as a cartoon character, mock them. That is different than this. That's just dehumanizing people. So, there you go. Other questions? What have you got? Yeah.
I would say it two slightly different ways. How do I get to speak to the right person